Lee Hayes is the head football coach at Sul Ross State, Texas Tech, Houston, Baylor, among many others, and he joins us on 360. Excuse me, I got the hiccups too, Lee. 365 Sports. Good to see you, man. How you been?
Good, sir. Good to see you.
You too. Craig Smoke with me. Paul Catalina, thanks for your time. So you've been around. I mean, you have made almost a full circle. Let's discuss, first of all, the opportunity at Sul Ross and how this all kind of came about.
Well, I talked to Amanda Workman, the AD down there, and they're looking for a head coach. And my son finally graduated here in Lubbock, and he's off to college, so it gave me an opportunity to get back in the college game. So there you go.
Lee, I'm sure you don't remember this, but when you got the Baylor offensive coordinator job, your first radio interview was with me and Steve Fallon at 7:20 in the morning.
I think I still had hair.
Maybe. I don't know. But it is like that journey here. You stepped in and helped improve an offense and kind of move it in the direction that it went. What did you learn from your stint here? And what you were kind of on the front wave of everybody kind of installing faster, more spread out offenses.
Yeah, it was actually it was a big step up going from Division II to Power 5 back then. And really, it was just kind of how to build a team and an offense. It's a little bit different Division II wise, the way you can plug guys in. But now with the portal and everything, it's kind of gotten to the point where it's like smaller college where you have all the transfers and stuff. But it was a little bit of a jump, media and stuff like that. I wasn't used to in Division II having to get up at 7:30 for an interview. Wasn't too many people knocking down the door.
What was it like to coach with Guy Morris?
Love Guy. Everything about Guy is that stands out the most is probably, his character. And it was great to get around a guy who put the kids first. Guy really did. And he was all about graduating and taking care of the kids. And that always impressed me about him.
You speaking to that point, because I was here then, Smokey wasn't here yet, but I don't think Guy Morris gets enough credit for because he didn't achieve the goals that he wanted that you guys were after, but how much he pulled the program up from the bottom and put it on the track that it's been on since he left. There were some innovation and things that were not going on pre-Guy Morris and your staff that they've since started doing, and sometimes I think he gets forgotten in that.
I think he does. He got there when it was a tough time, and it was a little bit, with everything that was going on, not just in football.
Yep.
And I think that what he brought was stability and character. And, with Guy, it was one way or the highway. And he always was about doing right and taking care of the school and the brand and making sure that nobody stepped out of line, that's for sure.
Lee, you're in obviously an area that it's kind of remote at Sul Ross. What is the challenge of getting people there, and once they're there, the selling point?
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
Well, you're right about that. That's cowboy country. I think it's 2 hours to a big airport, which for us is, a commercial airport. But, I think Sul Ross offers opportunity, not only for players, but coaches too, young coaches, and got to get the right fit in there. And the biggest thing is that it's a great place to get a degree, and we're selling degrees and an opportunity to prove yourself. A lot of those kids have a chip on their shoulder. They got to be blue collar kids that feel like they were overlooked in recruiting. And if you think you were overlooked, come to Sul Ross, baby. We'll find out.
Lee Hayes, the head coach at Sul Ross State, with us on 365 Sports.
So, Lee, a lot of people may not know this about you, but you were in the Marine Corps. You served our great country. You were a sniper in the Marine Corps. That journey from there to coaching, where did you decide once you left the military that coaching was going to be?
Really, my wife decided. I had a re-enlistment and an opportunity to get a duty station that I really wanted, but it was kind of remote. Mm-hmm. And her and her family decided to do a sit down and figure out what else I could do. And then, I decided it was going to be a college coach. And the funny part about that is, I'd played in the LSC, and every stop I'd been on, the graduate assistants had all played at that school. So I had 1 year of eligibility left at 30 years old. And I talked to Coach Harms about walking on down there with the intent that as soon as the season was over, asking for a GA spot so I could get started in coaching. And about, the third week of the season, I think we were flying to North Dakota State. And Chris Ballard, who is the GM for the Colts, was the DB coach, and he was right next to me, and he was like, "What is a 30-year-old doing playing Division II football?" Man, I'm trying to get into coaching, brother. I'm going to put that work in. He goes, "You don't have to play." I said, "What?" I said, "No, man, you don't got to play. We can take you as a GA right now." I thought, man, that would be my last game, boys. And then the boss asked me if I could stick it out through the season because they needed a backup tight end. So I had to keep rolling to the end of the season.
Well, you have players now who are playing until they're about 30 because of the new rules with the extra years. The guy from Miami was a 9-year player, the tight end, by the way. Yeah.
He's trying to beat my record.
How does what we see now with the highest levels of college football in any way, shape, or form affect Sul Ross football?
I guess the portal is the thing that jumps out at everybody with the way that you can transfer in and out and up and down. It used to be that if you transferred from Division II or Division III or 1AA even, you had to sit out a year, and that's all changed on us.
Do you, West Texas has been hard to recruit to, but there is talent out there. There's a lot of good football out there. Do you see that as more of is it a challenge, or is it something that maybe just isn't painted in the right light?
Well, everywhere you go, you're going to say it's a challenge. When we were at Texas Tech, it was proximity to the big schools, and they had to drive through Baylor to get to Texas Tech. And it's the same deal. I've just got to find the right fit and get out there. I know there's 22 men out there that want to come play at Sul Ross University and help us win a championship, and I've got to turn over a few rocks and get on the road and make it happen.
I want to go back to what you did in the U.S. Marine Corps as a sniper. First of all, that's amazing. Can you try to describe the discipline to be, to be in the Marine Corps, but the discipline to be a sniper?
First off, I get a lot of questions about that sniper position and all that. And what I want to say is I don't consider myself a sniper. I'm a school trained. I went to the Marine Corps sniper course, and it took a lot of discipline, but I feel like one of those, theft of valor or something like that when I try to step in. There's so many guys out there that have done so much more than me, and I feel like I'm kind of taking a bit of their spotlight. But, it was one of those deals where you grow up, and I volunteered and got the opportunity to go, and I just kind of tried to be the gray man, stayed in line, and didn't open my mouth, which is really hard for me.
Lee Hayes with us, Sul Ross State University. How much of being in the Marine Corps, how about this? How much does that translate in how you become a coach?
For me, it's absolutely everything. the leadership style, the fundamentals of leadership, and how we handle our business as a team. I'm old school, always will be. You know, if anybody coming to Sul Ross needs to understand, when it's White Sox Day, we're putting White Sox on. If it's Black Sox Day, that's what's going on, or you're not practicing.
So, how much has your offense changed from your days at Baylor?
Well, drastically. I kind of swung the opposite. You know,
Okay.
now that everybody's running that spread, it's not quite as I don't have the advantage that I used to have. So we changed it up a lot, really.
Yeah, you know, you could be a trailblazer and go all the way back to the bone.
That's where I'm headed, baby.
You know, there's something to be said about that. The academies use it, and a few others run something similar to it. Not many people see it. So when you run it, it takes teams a week, like prep for 1 week may not be enough.
Yes, sir. You know, I don't kind of fall in line when you don't have the same catch as the bigger schools or whatever it does. You have to do something different. So, well, we're not going to try to get up there and play smash mouth. We're gonna work a little option and go back to old school.
Now, the year that I guess it was the first year when you were hired at Baylor, you put up good numbers. Sean Bell was, I think, the quarterback. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Got lucky, lucky with the coach's kid. And Sean, he grabs the offense real quick.
So that
really
was one.
me.
And, you know, Baylor had been through, and you know this, you mentioned this, they'd been through a terrible drought of winning in football, and they had the issues going on elsewhere, but they had just not won. You gave them, some of the fans on the message board, when I said we're going to have you on today, were saying that we felt like we had turned the corner with that team, the fan base, because it had been my God, it was like a desert. And you guys, that team kind of gave everybody a nice jolt. Did you feel that too?
You know, I did, but also felt like that a couple of plays here or there, and Guy would have got another contract.
Yep.
It's one of those deals where, you know, a fumble here, a fumble there, and a bad call by a young OC can make or break a season.
So what was it like now to see Texas Tech where they are, where you've been, Houston with Willie Fritz there, and now with Baylor and Dave Aranda? They had a nice run for the last decade and a half with a couple of down notes too, to see some of the teams where you were and what they're doing.
It's amazing. You know, I'm so happy for U of H getting in the Big 12 and watching all the new things that are happening at Baylor and Texas Tech. I mean, they're second to none right now when you talk about facilities and funding and fan base, really. It's so impressive to watch them grow. I drove by the Texas Tech stadium the other day and didn't even recognize it. And then, heck, my son went on a visit down at Baylor for one of their camps. I didn't even know how to get around anymore. I couldn't believe all the new stuff and how nice it is and what an unbelievable job Coach has done out there too.
When I moved here in 2010, and I'd been to watch baseball, I'd been to the Farrell Center to do a couple of basketball games, JUCO games. I'd been to Floyd Casey, but you're right. When I drove down University Parks in 2010 and saw all of what they've done, and now you're right, it's 10 times even more, and it's just all state of the art. They've done an amazing job up and down what they're doing with the Brazos River too.
And the school. I mean, the school itself is unbelievable.
All right, Lee, what are your expectations? How quickly you get into this? What's your schedule and trying to jump into it? A team that didn't win a lot last year, and it's now it's your clock.
You know, I'm one of those that I feel like any game I play, we can win, and I'm going to compete. I'm not going down there to roll over or make excuses. They've got everything in place. They've got a football field. They've got a weight room, and we've got an equipment budget. So that's all I need.
Did I get this right that you were at Tarleton at one point?
Yes, sir.
So how about what they've done? They're now at the high level.
Man, one of these days I'm going to find one of those high level spots and get in there after everything's already built up.
Yeah, what Todd Witten's done there and that administration. Hey, Lee, I got to ask you this question. Now, there's a little beeping noise that sometimes is going on in the background. Is that an old Pong game, the old video game that you and I probably played back when they weren't real fancy?
You know, there's no telling how long or what's going on, but my poor hearing, I can't hear anything.
I'm just having fun with you.
It's all those years on the headset, Coach.
It's exactly right. You get that like musician's ear, or for me at my age, and a sportscaster's headset ear. A lot of people, when I said we were going to have you on, we're looking forward to seeing you and talking to you or hearing from you. We appreciate it, Lee. Good luck. Have a great time and enjoy the ride.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Lee Hayes, the head football coach at Sul Ross State University in Alpine,